It's your boy Rogard, and I'm back again. Just a little disclaimer, I know that I said I'd try and upload more often. My preferred goal was twice a week, but sadly life gets in the way. And in life, you have to say goodbye. So sadly last week, which only seems yesterday, we had to say goodbye to a lovely dog of 14 years. I'm not going to go into detail, as this is a personal matter, but I have an incredible family and a good mental state, so I will get through this loss. So now I've explained myself, let's get on to the video. So what's the topic of today's video? Well, I hope you read the title, so you have some idea. Well, today me, is going to talk about what I learned in my 10-week project about creature design. Yeah. I looked online, so basically one YouTube search, and I found people that had had years of experience talking about creating creatures, and thought I'd share what I'd learned as a newbie, and what advice I could give to anybody who wanted to start creating their own creatures. Also, to validate my arrogance, because I'm an arrogant motherfucker. Before we get started on those heavy facts, this isn't an essay or a long explanation, it just covers the basics of what I learned in the 10 weeks. What I first found was, when designing creatures, you have to have an understanding of creatures in our world and their environments. I'll get back to that reason why in just a second. What you gotta do, kid? You gotta catch 'em all. That was a Pokemon reference with a really bad accent. What I meant is, you've got to record a lot of references in your sketchbook. Not just every single animals that actually relate to what you're looking at. If you think you want to create an aqua creature that lurks in the tropical waters, you want to focus your drawings on tropical fish, not a flying squirrel that is super cute. Come on, Jack, you're a man. I wanted to look at creatures that could fly, so I looked at parrots, cockatiels, and my very own lovebirds. They're lovebirds. But I also dabbled in other animals to see if there were any elements that I liked that could be incorporated, yet still keeping the essence of a flying animal. What I recommend you do is what I did. You start by focusing on one creature, in my case birds, and as you grow your understanding, you start to look at other creatures over time, not just jumping at the deep end by trying to capture everything. I'm not saying just get two creatures and stick them together like some sort of Frankenstein's monster and just call it a day. What I found when I designed my creatures to survive in a certain environment, they looked more realistic. Because in our world, creatures evolve to survive, they don't evolve to look cool. Animals create different features so they can survive. That's why it's called survival of the fittest. That's why you also need to have a good understanding of a creature's environment, not just itself. You need a good understanding of the environment so you can know what adaptations your creature will need. So I mentioned earlier, the way to create good creatures is you need to have an understanding of creatures in our world. This is because you really, and I mean really don't want to fall into the uncanny valley. Sitting there and wondering, Rogue, what the hell is the uncanny valley? Well, my fine feathered friend, the uncanny valley is the point in which a creature or character, or really anything you design that's imaginary, starts to not look real. This is caused because over time your brain has got an understanding of what nearly everything looks like. So when your brain looks at something, it can tell you if it looks slightly off or not the way it should be. So you may be sitting there with your head in your hands and thinking, I just want to make cute creatures. But now you're going on about a valley of death. So, like a blinding angel, I'll fly down and deliver you a way out. So if you didn't understand that gospel crap, There are many ways out, but the one I found that works the most is called imaginative realism. So a basic definition of imaginative realism is the idea of using your understanding of our world to create new ones. So with the idea of creating a sea creature, you know that in our world, most sea creatures have gills and fins, so you could incorporate those parts into your design. So when somebody comes to look at your creature, the brain will start to pick up on those subtle hints and think, yes, this could be a real creature. But this doesn't always work, so you really need that understanding of your original creature and its environment, so you can reiterate and play around with different features to get the most realistic outcome. One of the best examples of imaginative realism is the video game franchise Monster Hunter, as nearly every part of the games, from your armor to the monsters themselves, has been referenced from our world, but sprinkled with a bit of creativity. If you want a deeper dive into the world of imaginative realism, I really highly recommend you check out the Subjectively video on Monster Hunter. This was the main one I did my research for my original foundation year, and definitely didn't rip off. Now you've got an understanding of animals that live in our world and design something completely new, yet still feels that it can live in our world. But what to do about colour? So having a basic understanding of colour theory can really save your life. When you're colouring, you need to follow the same steps as coming up with your own creatures by looking at things in our world and how they're coloured. Also, look at how animals use colour to their advantage, from blending in with their environments to showing how deadly they can be. With the creature you see in the background, I decided to use complementary colours, which are colours from the opposite sides of the colour spectrum, as this causes the creature to stand out and seem vibrant. My reasoning for using these vibrant colours is that my creature is a small predator that uses colour to seem larger and more threatening. I also incorporated colour schemes and patterns from fish in our world, more specifically the mandarin fish with its turquoise highlights. So in conclusion, what I learnt from my 10 weeks of creature design was that you need to understand the creatures in our world, but also their environments that they've adapted to. And along this journey, you will hit obstacles like the uncanny valley. But if you use research and determination, you'll find ways out, like with imaginative realism. And if you push through, you might just create something wondrous yet realistic. So basically, you didn't really need to watch the whole video, just get the whole explanation here. So a loser. Nah, I'm joking. Thanks a lot for watching. I've left the rest of the time lapse so you can enjoy that. See you at the end of the video. Hey, thanks for watching the end of the video. It means a lot. This is quite a long one, I know, and if you've made it this far, then wow, because on the last video, I think my average view was about 43 seconds, but baby steps here, baby steps. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you could subscribe, that could be great. I know every YouTuber does it, like, subscribe, yeah, but I thought I'd just do it. So, thanks a lot. Rogart, out.